Leandro ruling, budget stalemate, and local cuts. What are Republicans prioritizing? The North Carolina Supreme Court just ruled 4-3 along partisan lines to wipe out years of court orders in the Leandro school funding case. The four-justice Republican majority said the courts cannot force the legislature to transfer money to meet the state's constitutional duty to provide every child a sound basic education. That means one thing. School funding is now even more fully in the hands of Republican politicians, many self-identifying as MAGA, Trump loyalists. And here's what makes this ruling even more revealing. North Carolina still does not have a full new state budget. As of this week, lawmakers still had not passed one for the current fiscal year, leaving the state to operate under the older 2023 budget with only minor adjustments. In other words, the legislature had already been stalling on its basic duty to set spending priorities, and now the court has removed one of the last remaining ways to hold it accountable on education. So bring that home to Gaston County. Gaston County just released $10 million to prevent layoffs, and now we're hearing more than 100 positions could still be eliminated. That is not some mystery of economics. The Gaston County Board of Commissioners has the duty to adopt the county's balanced budget, set the property tax rate, and assign county funding priorities. Gaston County's current board is 7 members, and all 7 seats are held by Republicans. So no, this is not about blaming people just because they have an R next to their names. It is about following the MAGA policy choices they have made. Republicans control the county board here. Republicans have controlled the General Assembly in Raleigh for years. Republicans currently control the state Supreme Court majority that just shut down court enforcement of the North Carolina constitutional provision, compelling education funding in Leandro. That is a chain of political power belonging to one party in charge, and the consequences are showing up locally. And while all this is happening, we keep hearing the same line about the lottery helping education. But look closer. The General Assembly's budget highlights show about $408.3 million from the Education Lottery Fund going to public school capital in FY 2024-25, while the broader education budget under the last full state budget framework was about $17.9 billion that same year. The lottery is not carrying public education. It is a small piece of a much larger funding picture, and the lottery's own financial reporting shows why the sales pitch deserves skepticism. In FY 2022-23, the official breakdown showed 65.8% of lottery revenue went to prizes, 23.4% to education programs, and 6.8% to retailer commissions. More recent lottery reporting says fiscal year 2024-25 earnings for education were about $1.08 billion. So yes, the lottery sends money to education, but a large share of lottery revenue still goes elsewhere first. That matters because North Carolina politicians love to market the lottery as if buying scratch-offs is what keeps the schools going, while counties like Gaston are still wrestling with layoffs and service cuts. And now, after Leandro, there is even less pressure on lawmakers to meet the constitutional standard the courts had been trying to enforce for years. So when people ask what the real issue is, the answer is not hard to find. In Gaston County, Republicans control the local budget structure. In Raleigh, Republicans have controlled the legislative agenda. On the state Supreme Court, Republicans supplied the votes that ended court oversight of Leandro. The result is a state still operating without a full budget, a county trying to plug holes with emergency money, and working people left wondering why layoffs and cuts keep landing on them while leaders talk about priorities. The question is not who is in charge. We already know that. The question is, what are they choosing to fund, and what are they choosing not to fund? Why are they redirecting money from public schools into religious and private schools? And why are ordinary North Carolinians and their children paying the price?